In this video, I am going to talk about my experience learning Spanish. So, watch and listen. I started to learn Spanish about 3 years ago. And I started because I was going to move to Spain for an exchange. In Europe, there is a program for students from different universities across the continent to move to a different country for either 6 months or a full year. And I decided that I wanted to move to Spain. So, about 3 months before I was going to move to Spain, I decided that I was going to learn Spanish. Back then, I did not know how to learn languages. So I went on my phone and downloaded a couple of language learning apps. These apps told me how to say different phrases like, "Hello, my name is Andrew," or "How much does that cost?" or "I am 24 years old." When I finally did move to Spain, I found out very quickly that these phrases would not help me one bit. The first time that I went into a shop to buy bread, milk, and tea bags, when the person behind the counter spoke to me, I could not understand anything. Not one word. It was at this point that I decided that I needed to join a Spanish language class. So I enrolled into a Spanish class at the university. And I decided to join an A2 level class. A1 is the lowest class and A2 is the second lowest, so one above A1. I remember sitting in the class and listening to the teacher. In the class, the teacher spoke very slowly, like I am doing right now. And I remember for the first time in my life understanding what she was talking about. And this was amazing. But I also remember the first time that the teacher asked me a question. I did not know how to respond, and I remember feeling very anxious. But I continued to go to this class for about 3 months. And when I left Spain to move back home, I decided that I was going to continue learning Spanish. So, what did I do? I went onto the internet and typed in easy Spanish, and I found videos on YouTube in which the person spoke very slowly. And I sat and watched and listened to these videos for about 6 months or even a whole year. I remember that at the start I could understand some of the words, but not all of them. But it did not matter because I was enjoying it. The person was very interesting and very expressive. I do not remember at which point along those 6 months, but at some point I remember that all of a sudden I could understand people speaking normally, at normal speed, like this. At this point, I decided to try watching television. So I went onto the internet and typed in Spanish television programs. And I clicked on one. But to my surprise, I could not understand anything again. I remember being very confused about this because I thought that I could understand Spanish easily, but I couldn't. So I went back to YouTube and found more advanced level Spanish and decided to watch this. And after a couple more months of watching and listening to these videos, I decided to try the radio. So I went onto my phone and found a Spanish radio channel and gave this a listen. And while I could not understand everything, I could understand enough to understand what they were talking about. After another few months of listening to the Spanish radio, I decided to give Spanish television another shot. And this time I could understand enough to know what they were talking about. And this made me feel really proud of myself. It was at that point that I decided that I wanted to speak more Spanish. So I went onto the internet to find a language partner. And I began to speak Spanish with a person from Spain, a native speaker. And again, to my surprise, I could speak, but not completely fluently like I can in English, for example. But what I noticed was that I was using words, was saying words that I did not know that I knew. I was saying complicated phrases, having never studied these phrases. These phrases seemed to be just appearing in my mind, and I did not understand why. But with time, with more watching television programs, more listening to the radio, I noticed that my Spanish, my speaking, continued to get better and better. And now I can speak not 100% fluently, but enough to communicate. And this is definitely the most important thing. And about 1 year ago, when I noticed that my Spanish had got to a very good level, I decided that I wanted to try this process in another language that was not Spanish. So, which language to learn? And that is when I decided that I wanted to learn Russian. So now I have started to listen to Russian. And this process I have noticed to be very similar to the one with Spanish. So hopefully in the future I will be able to speak Russian like I can now speak Spanish. Hopefully. But anyway, is this similar to your experience learning English? Or has your experience learning English been completely different? Let me know in the comments below. And if you enjoyed this video, feel free to subscribe and click the bell so that you get notified when we release one of our 2 weekly videos. Thank you for watching and listening, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.